Welcome everybody who's in the meeting and anyone watching later online or even now since we're live streaming. Uh, Everyone's welcome and very happy to be back again for number 274 of our weekly Interfaith Zoom meeting. The readings tonight will be on the theme of faith, and the topic, which I'll introduce later, is science, religion, and the new atheism, it's called. So I'd just like to take this opportunity to acknowledge that Jung and I are on Gadigal and Bidjigal land in the Eora Nation, which is the Sydney area, and very appreciative that this land, which was cared for up to 60,000 years, uh, is in such good condition and was well cared for environmentally. And so we all getting the benefit of that now, all different backgrounds, races, cultures who have come to Australia and to this area. And of course, we're all learning to live in harmony. And one of the things which unites us is spirituality. And we have a lot to learn from Indigenous people about spirituality. All right, we'll start the music and readings.
Nightingale of paradise, you sing of love, flooding all the world with love. Heedless men hear not your song of life eternal. They're lost in the dark of night. Nightingale of paradise, you sing of joy. Flooding all the world with love, singing out your song of peace and brotherhood, with hope for all from
By faith is fire kindled, by faith is offered sacrifice. Sing we now faith, the pinnacle of joy. Bless faith, the one who gives. Bless him who wills but has not. Bless him who gives his worship unstinting. Bless this song I sing, Hindu writing.
with greeting to Armati, the symbol of faith, humility, and inner wishes. I deliver to thee, O Mazda, these precious gems, that is the souls of the pure-minded and the righteous persons, for thy safekeeping, since thou art the great King and the eternal strength. Zoroaster writings. Thank you.
Okay, that's it. Sorry. The third one. The man of faith is revealed wherever he goes. He has virtue and fame. He prospers. Good men shine even from a distance, like Himalaya fountains. But the wicked, like arrows, shot on the night, fade away. Sit alone, sleep alone, be active alone. In lowliness, continue and quest of the left self, even in a forest, continue the quest.
In thee, O Lord, have I taken refuge. Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me in thy righteousness. Incline thine ear unto me. Deliver me speedily. Be thou to me a rock of refuge, even a fortress of defense to save me. For thou art my rock and my fortress. Therefore, for thy name's sake, lead me and guide me. Bring me forth out of the net that they have hidden for me. For thou art my stronghold. Into thy hand I commit my spirit. Thou hast redeemed me, O Lord, thou God of truth. Jewish writings.
Consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, they spin not. And yet I say unto you, that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then God so clothe the grass, which is today in the field, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? And see not ye what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind. For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. But rather seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Christian writing.
How can he hope without faith from God? You were dead, and he give you life. Next, he will cause you to die. Next, he will restore you to life. Next, shall he return to him. He it is create for you all that is on it. Then proceeded to the heaven and into 7 heaven did the fashion it. And he know all things, Islamic writing.
Moreover, a show of excellent deeds and good manners will undoubtedly advance from whatever horizon he beholdeth the lights radiating. Herein lies the difference. By faith is meant first conscious knowledge, and second the practice of good deeds by writings.
You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have arrived.
Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself.
You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, and whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should.
Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career. However humble, it is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself. Especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself.
You are a child.
You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive Him to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life. Keep peace with your soul, with all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams. It is still a beautiful world. Be careful. Strive to be happy.
You are a child of the universe, no less
Thank you very much to the readers. And thank you all for joining tonight. And our topic tonight is science, religion, and what they call the new atheism. Has anyone here heard of the new atheism or the old atheism? All right. Well, as we'll find out, the old atheists were happy to just believe in no God and happy for us, or if we believe in God, for us to believe in God. And we all lived happily ever after. But the new atheists say that religion is so bad they have to get rid of it, or convince people not to be, that it's wrong. Anyway, that's the new atheism. All right, I'm going to share screen. We've got 3 short videos. First one's only a minute and a half. Next one, or no, about 3.5, I think. And then the next one's 1.5 minutes, and the third one is 7 minutes. And I've typed out the words so that you can follow them on screen while they're talking, because they talk a bit fast. And in fact, the short ones, the 3-minute and the 2-minute videos, we can even replay if anyone likes to. Right, so these are the 3 speakers. Richard Feynman, what you might call an old atheist. I'll read a short biography later. Richard Dawkins, you've probably heard of. He's in the news a lot. And Tom Price gives the religious viewpoint, which happens to be a Baha'i viewpoint. And these are some questions we might discuss after it. So just keep these questions in mind while you're listening, and you may have pick up some ideas that we can talk about. So why do many people reject religion? Why do atheists say there is no God? Why do some people continue to believe in God and follow religion? And what would constructive dialogue with an atheist look like? So our first speaker will be Richard Feynman. He passed away. He was an American theoretical physicist. He shared the 1965 Nobel Prize in Physics and was a member of the panel that investigated the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster. And he has been credited with having pioneered quantum computing and nanotechnology. And also a very popular lecturer. He's a good storyteller, and someone collected all his stories about his life in a book called Surely You're Joking, Mr. Feynman. And if you can find that book, I think you'll enjoy it. Richard Dawkins is a British evolutionary biologist. He made the case for atheism in The God Delusion in 2006, which the Sunday Times described as one of the 12 most influential books since the Second World War. And Tom Price, some of us may have met Tom. I even had a couple of guitar lessons with Tom when he was living in Centennial Park near our place. Tom is best known for his work in choral and orchestral music. He produced and co-wrote Bad Habits by singer Billy Field, which was the largest selling album in Australia in 1981. And you can see Tom on YouTube playing the guitar in the background to that video. In 1986, he collaborated with renowned Indian composer Ravi Shankar for the opening of the Baha'i House of Worship in New Delhi. So those are our presenters. And I'll turn on the sound. Maybe I'd better set up the link first. And while it's playing, I'm going to go through these slides at the same rate as they're talking.
There are very remarkable mysteries about the fact that we're able to do so many more things than apparently animals can do, and other questions like that. But those are mysteries I want to investigate without knowing the answer to them. And so altogether, I can't believe the special stories that have been made up about our relationship to the universe at large, because they seem to be too simple, too connected, too local, too provincial. The earth, he came to the earth. One of the aspects of God came to the earth, mind you. And look at what's out there. How can it isn't in proportion. Anyway, it's no use arguing. I can't argue it. I'm just trying to tell you why the scientific views that I have do have some effect on my beliefs. And also another thing has to do with the question of how do you find out if something's true? And if you have all these theories of the different religions, have all different theories about the thing, then you begin to wonder. Once you start doubting, just like you're supposed to doubt, you ask me, is the science true? We say, no, we don't know what's true. We're trying to find out. Everything is possibly wrong. Start out understanding religion by saying everything is possibly wrong. Let us see. As soon as you do that, you start sliding down an edge, which is hard to recover from. And so with the scientific view, or my father's view, that we should look to see what's true and what may not be true, once you start doubting, which I think is, to me, is a very fundamental part of my soul, is to doubt and to ask. And when you doubt and ask, it gets a little harder to believe. You see, one thing is I can live with doubt and uncertainty and not knowing. I think it's much more interesting to live not knowing than to have answers which might be wrong. I have approximate answers and possible beliefs and different degrees of certainty about different things, but I'm not absolutely sure of anything. And then many things I don't know anything about, such as whether it means anything to ask, why we're here, and what the question might mean. I might think about it a little bit. If I can't figure it out, then I go to something else. But I don't have to know an answer. I don't feel frightened by not knowing things, by being lost in the mysterious universe without having any purpose, which is the way it really is, as far as I can tell, possibly. It doesn't frighten me.
Right. Any comments on what you just heard? I really enjoy listening to this guy talk and the scientific approach, which, in my opinion, is very close to the religious approach.
Does he doubting about the religion, or does he say that he doesn't believe in it?
He's not being assertive that there's no God or there's no true religion. He just doesn't like what he's heard so far.
Yeah, but you see, like Jesus said, blessed for those who don't see but believe. Well, we preachers, you just had to see, if Jesus appeared right in front of him, then he could see and believe. Because faith, when we talk about faith, means that the faith comes naturally and you don't have to see and believe, then you have faith. Because when we talk about religion, it's all about faith. And the way that he narrowed the concept down, obviously he's a man with a broad mind, but with religion, he narrowed down to the narrow path. It means that he hasn't got time to read any religious books. By the way, he talked about it. He said the universe has no purpose as far as he can tell. Well, the universe is very busy. The universe got many angles and many aspects in life. And here, because he doubts so many things, so he said he thinks that the universe has no purpose. But anyway, science is different from religion. I mean, some people connect science with religions. But I mean, it's up to him if he want to develop his faith or not, or he just want to narrow the path down so people will follow him and go into the narrow path instead of go to the horizon.
And also he says it's more interesting live with not knowing, than better to live than knowing believe in something which is wrong. What does he mean? So does he specifically say it is God or?
Well, maybe he just doesn't want to believe without having a reason to believe.
Well, just like an ostrich bird, the bird that he ducked his head down the sand because he doesn't want to see anything else. So he preferred to see the sand, so he ducked his head down so he didn't have to think about things. And to live not knowing, then to have answer, it might be wrong. I mean, if we talk about an intellectual person talk like that, what hope that we have?
Yeah, I like the fact that he says, as far as he can tell, the universe has no purpose. So he recognizes that his own view is limited, but he also says that he's a scientist, and science starts with doubt, and it tries to find out what is true. So I don't think he's closed the door on religion totally. It's just what he's seen hasn't convinced him.
Well, it means that Colin, it means he hasn't got experience with God's manifestation, God's revelation, and God come down to us as what you call miracle or Virgin Mary apparitions. So if anybody who hasn't experienced all these phenomena, it's not their fault. It's not their fault at all. It's very objective. God doesn't want to waste his time. Maybe he likes somebody who doesn't believe him, then he come as an apparition. But then you can question what that apparition is true or not true, or just only delusion, or just like a ghost come up. I mean, so many argument and discussion about the ghosts to still hang around and haunted people, and that's why we need exorcism. So therefore, Richard got a point when he said that, because he probably already encountered ghosts. Who know? He hasn't seen the angels, but he might see the ghosts. That's why he doesn't believe in anything. I mean, I'm only guessing. We only guessing here. We don't know exactly what happened to Richard.
Yeah, well, see, you mentioned exorcism, for example, and he says all the religions have different theories about what is true. So one religion believes in exorcism, another one doesn't. So he says, don't just believe, start with asking questions. and then try to find out what's true. And I think that's a good approach, even if he didn't find what you have found or what any one of us has found about God or experienced. At least it seems to me he's got the scientific approach, and science, when it's done properly, isn't dogmatic. It tries to be fair about everything. All right, are you happy with that? Shall we move on to the next video? Okay. So this is Richard Dawkins. He's still alive.
Faith means belief in something without evidence. Because if you believe something without evidence, then that justifies anything. You're no longer vulnerable to somebody coming back at you and saying, hang on a minute, let me argue the case. If you believe it without evidence, which is what faith is, then you don't argue the case. You say, no, I'm not arguing that case. This is my faith. It's mine. It's private. I don't dissent from it. I don't retreat from it. You're just going to have to accept it. Now, that is evil.
And yet you spend so much of your time debating people of faith. So clearly people of faith are interested in having discussions. They're not just all blind believers insisting on their way of...
Well, nobody said anything about all of them. I mean, the vast majority of religious people are perfectly good, nice people, as you are. There's no suggestion I've ever made that all religious people are evil. Of course not. There is a logical progression that goes from believing in faith, having faith that your God tells you to do something, and doing terrible deeds like suicide bombing, like flying planes into skyscrapers. The vast majority of people of faith don't do such terrible things. But those people who do terrible things do it believing that they are righteous and good, and they think that they're doing the will of their God. So they're not evil people, they're actually good people by their own lights. They believe they're doing good things, and that's why religion is evil, because it can make you do evil things believing that they are good.
All right, so Richard Dawkins, he's probably not watching this video, but I'm sure he'd be very interested in what our reactions are.
Because he doesn't understand that some people doing evil things, their understanding of their religion is not right. Or that they are not strictly following what their religious teachings are. So you cannot put the blame of someone doing evil on the religion.
Well, we can only explain this paragraph objectively according to the vocabulary of languages. If we think about dictionary and languages, they had a word of indoctrination. What's the meaning of indoctrinations? Well, if you read the explanation of the dictionary, they tell you what, some group got indoctrination into believe something, whether good or bad, but they've been indoctrinated to believe it. So therefore, it is hard to identify whether religion is evil or not evil. It depends on the indoctrination, in which way that is lead people to the brightness, and what sort of indoctrination that lead people to the darkness. Okay, so what you're saying, religion is faith without evidence. Most of people, they only believe in faith if they see miracle or apparition. For them, is evidence. But it's the same thing happening again. Maybe Richard never experienced encounter with angels or God or manifestation or revelation or miracle or apparitions of all the divine beings. Who knows? Who knows what Richard has encountered? So we had to take objective views here and be careful because Richard, if he's still alive, he will just like to hear nice things. Thank you.
Thank you. Testify.
The speaker said that to believe the religious people believe in God because they, by evidence, it says. So all the religion people believe in God because of the evidence. But here, someone to believe in God, it doesn't need any evidence because the nature itself is a big evidence. For example, our body, our eyes, our mind, our way of life. These are very mysterious things. For example, for me, when I become a believer, I became a believer because I was seeing sun rising in the morning. And I was to cook an egg in the morning. Then I broke that egg. And suddenly the egg was almost to be ripe. Then there was pellets inside the egg. Then the sunrise and the egg gave me very impressive feeling in my body, in my mind. So from that onwards, I used to investigate religions and so forth. So the religion people, they don't need any evidence. The evidence is with you, the nature itself, how the world works, how our body functions, and so forth. So they don't need any miracles. Miracles are with us. So I don't see any other evidence to believe in God or something like that. The next, he said also, religion become a weapon of suicide bombing or something like that. As Baha'u'llah says, when a religion pass its time or is not renewed, it's just like food. Food gives us, for us, life, growth, etc. When one food is spoiled, and if I eat that food, I will automatically be dead or sick. So the food which I was eating in the first will be a poison tomorrow. So all religions which promote this suicide bombing, killings, war, etc., they are not using the religion of God. They are using the old version. And that old version also brings destruction or something else. So it's not the religion, it's the religion renewed will be hell, full of light. That religion which is begun to be not good, it will destroy. So it's not the religion, it's the timing of the religion. So people always accept the poor people and the under oppressed regime people they try to find way out from their oppression or disease or poverty. So they use religion as a shield. As for me, it seems like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Tesfaye. Yeah, I think perhaps it's a matter of definition of religion. His understanding of religion, well, he sees what's bad and what's evil, and he says, well, that's religion. Of course, evil is evil. But I would disagree with him from the beginning. He says religion is faith without evidence. I think what Tesfaye said is more accurate. There is evidence. The evidence is what we can see, what we can perceive. And I know in the Baha'i, what the Baha'is are trying to do is show the society building power of the faith. So perhaps, in other words, something constructive about religion. Did I see Kamal? Was your hand up, Kamal?
No.
Okay. Oh, Kamal, yes.
I think
Yes. So, if it's okay, I will share my opinion on this subject. I don't know if the religion is evil or not, but there is a evil in every person. So that's why in the society we have a religion to control this evilness from coming out, by doing good things like every religion says. We can do good things, we can share with the neighbors, we have to love our neighbors. Like this, every religion, basic things is to do good. But it is very difficult to do that. So that's why we have a system like how to pray to God, how to bring this good side of us outside in this society. Then we have this concept of God and this kind of punishments and those things, everything to keep this evil from not coming out. So I will say no religion was harming this world, but the evil in the person definitely has harmed this world. It doesn't matter which religion it is, but the followers are a bit dangerous. They all wait for the opportunity to come to show their animal behavior in this society. Those days, they can point out it is the religion, but it is not the religion. It is always the evil which is sleeping inside the human. So it is the efforts of each and individual person should bring the God within them out and kick the evil outside. So the religion can help to some level to keep this suppressing uh, until the day it comes when it's burst out, But still, it can help if they take serious effort. This religion, it doesn't matter what religion it is, but it can help them to suppress the evil inside. So that's my point to share with you all. It has nothing to do with the religion. It is always about the evil inside the human. So, yeah. Thank you.
That's a very good point, Kamal. And I agree. When people do terrible deeds, as Richard Dawkins gives some examples, they're not following religion. They're doing the opposite of what the founder of their religion said. So there's something else going on, I think. Right, shall we move to the third video? Oh, yep, good. Where are we? I think down here somewhere. It'll take me a minute to get up to the 12.45 part of the video.
Which is which, so I just eat it. Through all of these things. And so it happens that in the last, I'm going to say the last 10, 15 years, there's been a rise, particularly in Western Europe and the United States, of a movement called New Atheism. New Atheism is a movement, that's the name of the movement. It began about 2004. And New Atheism was a new concept in atheism that had never existed before. Old atheism believed that you just did not think God existed, that there was no God or no religion. That was old atheism. But you allowed religion to spread that, you believe your thing, I believe mine. I'm going to read you a statement from one of the writers who defines New Atheism. He says, religion should not simply be tolerated, but should be countered, criticized, and exposed by rational argument wherever its influence arises. This is, they call it militant atheism. It's not good enough just not to believe yourself, but you must go out and try and convince others not to believe. You must attack religion. This is what we call the New Atheist movement. Some of the great writers of the New Atheist movement are Richard Dawkins, Daniel Dennett, Sam Harris, Christopher Hitchens, Victor Stenger, Michael Shermer, Lawrence Krauss, A.C. Grayling, Bill Maher, who has a television show in the United States, and so on. There are many writers and authors. Some of them have books that have sold in the tens of millions, and many have books that sell, a couple of million. They began in 2004, and through 2007 they formed the basis of this. And I have read many of the books of the New Atheists. I've looked at them. I've looked at some of the writings of Dennett, Harris, Dawkins, and I've seen the movie by Bill Maher. Have you seen that movie by Bill Maher called Religulous and so on? These are all part of the New Atheist movement. And I've looked at them, and I have to tell you the truth. I'm going to admit something here. I agree with almost everything they say. I agree with almost everything they say. Because all they are really doing is exposing the lunacy, the idiocy, the corruption of religion in the world. They look at religion, they see what it's doing in the world, they see that it's anti-science, they see that it's anti-unity, they see that it's violent, they see it's divisive, they see it's absurd in many cases, and they point out what has gone wrong with religion. And many of the things they say, I say, Baha'u'llah said the same thing in the Kitab Yagan. I agree. I feel like going up to them and saying, the God you don't believe in, I don't believe in either. You see, I agree with most. Now, the only thing I don't agree with them is that they want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. The bathwater is so dirty that they don't even see a baby in it. It's just so dirty, the baby's under there, and they're throwing it out. And this is the problem. Religion has become so dirty in so many parts of the world that people want to throw it out. And as a result, atheism is on the rise. Today, I can't remember the exact statistics, but I believe that it was something like 60 or 70 or 80% of all certain scientists, I think they were physicists and biologists, are atheists. It was the highest percentage ever, and it has risen in the last 10 years since these authors have written books. And so it's quite clear that if you study the writings of the New Atheists, you realize that they're doing a great service to religion. They're doing, every religious follower should thank them because they're exposing the weaknesses. They're helping a process of purification which the world must go through. Religion must be purified. But to throw the baby out with the bathwater first involves convincing the atheists that there's a baby there. This is what I want to talk about tonight. How, if I were to meet one of these atheists, how could I convince them that there's a baby in there somewhere? And we want to keep the baby and throw the dirty water out. How can I convince them? There's a number of ways that one can do this. One is by studying history. One is by studying history, because if you study history, you will find that no civilization, no culture has ever arisen without the influence of religion. Not a single one. In fact, Arnold Toynbee had 12 volumes, the study of history. He concluded that religion was the dominant force in all of human history. So much so that in the 1950s and 60s, he became discredited as an historian, because they said he's too religious in his orientation. And so today, Toynbee is not widely cited or quoted or even respected by many historians because they think he's too religious. But he was what we call a meta-historian. He studied history across all cultures, all time periods. Another meta-historian was Will Durant. Will and Ariel Durant, they wrote A Story of Civilizations, 11 volumes of books. Has anyone ever seen those? I remember when I was growing up, everyone had these 11 volumes on their wall. It was a kind of book that everybody had on their shelves, but nobody ever read. Okay, they never read it because it was too big. But he studied, he and his wife, for years and years and years, every civilization. And he concluded the same thing that Toynbee did. I'm going to read you from a study of A Story of Civilizations, Will Durant. He says, civilizations begin with religion and stoicism. They end with skepticism and unbelief and the undisciplined pursuit of individual pleasure. Here he has studied the rise and fall of every culture, every civilization known to man. He said they always begin with religion, they always end with skepticism, unbelief, and the undisciplined pursuit of individual pleasure. The undisciplined. How many people do you know have a pursuit of individual pleasure? How many of you want some individual pleasure right now? Okay, raise your, put your hands down. Okay, that's not right. And so he's describing the path that humanity has taken throughout human history. So as I thought about it, I realized that religion is a double-edged sword. You can look at it from history and find that on one side, it's a very powerful force. It's a civilizing force. It's a force for morality. It's a force for order. It's a force for unity. On the other side, it can be a disaster. Is that right? So, how do we distinguish true religion, good religion, from bad religion? In other words, there's good religion, there's bad religion. Religion's like cholesterol. There's good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. And if you go to the doctor, he says, don't get the bad cholesterol.
So the rest of the talk is how to distinguish good religion from bad religion. I can give you a summary later if you like. But so there's a few key points there, which you've just heard. So any thoughts on Tom's talk, and then we'll go back to the general questions. Tesfai.
As Tom said, it's very clear. We don't have to attack those who attack religion because they are purifying it. So this kind of talks, I agree with him. And what I would like to add is, when we see all the prophets of God coming to the earth, they teach, they do very good things, but they are opposed. They are killed. They are crucified. They are imprisoned. So this is the way they purify the old habits of the people. So all the prophets They have come to the world and they suffer. Their purpose is to purify the already spoiled religion. So this is very clear. But in our times here, I don't know, the elite and the learned, they have the upper hand. If a famous, somebody famous scientist or famous wrote a book, everybody follows. The whole world follows. And nowadays also with films, we have very incredible films. So the people are gliding out of the teaching of God. When one manifestation of God came, he teaches and he suffers, imprisoned, killed, all his family destroyed. What other atrocities can befall a prophet of God? So through this struggle, the prophets of God purified the old religion. Religion was always one. But had it not be religion in the world, we couldn't have found any survivor or living things living here. Because religion says don't kill. But devoid of that law, we ourselves couldn't have survived now. So religion, as Mr. Tom said, is a very, very important factor for civilization. And Paul also says like that. Man is created to know and to worship God, to love and worship God, and to carry forward the ever advancing civilization. So I really agree with the speaker, Mr. Tom. Thank you.
Thank you, Tesfaye. And I think many of us here tonight are Baha'is and would share that perspective. But of course, he mentioned the meta-historians, and if they point to religion as having a positive role in civilization, then because religion's so discredited at the moment, so their theory that religion is good for civilization is hard for people to accept. I think people can come to believe in religion through spiritual perception, through learning about the life of the founders, through reading the writings. But too many people now are just waiting. They just want to wait and see, is religion going to do anything good for the world? Yeah.
Thank you, Colin. Mr. Tom Price is still well, so we have to be careful what we talk about after reading all these things that he mentioned. What I'm saying, for me, is it's up to the people how they use religion. If they use the religion for the moral ideas, guiding the children, 10 commandments, do this thing, do that thing correctly, just like to drive a car. You drive according to the rules. And this also is up to the people how they use religion for their own things. Like indoctrination, that's one of the concepts that I mentioned before. And what I'm saying, another aspect of religion, we have to think about into commercialization. Just like if people that follow religion and write one book, and then they won't be able to sell the books. So they got to have something new or different and discuss about things new and different so they can and they copy one another so they can do like 10,000 books for the different views. Who knows who's correct? It's all about money, all about making dollars, American dollars, making, not too much about religion or writing skills, but just to develop the concept of finance, what you call benefits. Maybe the money that they receive, they might just give out to charity. So one of the good things, like donate $1, $2 to the charity for every book that they sell. So that's one of the good things. So it's very hard to to think about what we just read through the paragraph here. Like no need to distinguish good religion or bad religion. It's important that how people use religion and how they make money out of it, and how much charity they put in with the revenue that they receive. I mean, talk about charity here. Who just give donation to the church to buy the candles for the angels? Who will do that? Write in the books. And then you give $5 to a charity. So people can buy candles and open Seventh Sanctuary Paul or Red Cross. So just think about money. So you'll be all right.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Young. So that was Tom's talk. Now back to the general questions. Let's see if we can just share some thoughts on these. Why do many people reject religion? Anyone, whether from what we heard or anything else you can think of? Why are people rejecting religion? I mean, the whole of the 20th century was a materialist century. Everyone gave that a go. It didn't work out so well. But Tesfaye.
I agree what Ms. Yoon said. She said that the religion here is almost materialized. It's just like Christ has prophesied. Christ said that in the latter days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will turn red. And when Baha'u'llah explaining this, the prophecy of Christ, Baha'u'llah says, moon means the church. The church will be materialized. It will have blood in it. So as Ms. Shirion said, all the religion we see today, they are already spoiled inside, in their charity, in their everything, in the politics. In the old days, religion and governments were two different things. But now they are interrelated, rather married. So this is making the case of a religion to be, when you see it from outside, it disguises it. For example, in our Ethiopia, when you go to Europe, there is a church. So in that church, in the old days, it was a church, but now it has divided into three parts: Church of the Progressive, Church of the Revolutionary, Church of the Government. So the church is split into 3 or 4 sects. Then let's come to as I come to that question, why do people hate religion in these days? the young automatically rejects the believe in God because they see the people of God doing very bad things more than the politician and terrorists. So how can you come and believe in God while seeing all the men disguised themselves as the God's servants? It was very clear, especially the young. They don't want to get involved in church. Me also, I was against church, against believed in God. But finally, when you investigate, it continues. So it's a natural, always in the past religions also. The majority comes always in the past religion. Then after investigating, comes to the true one. Because there is no way. In order for humanity to survive, the 10 Commandments must be applied. Don't kill, don't... these laws has preserved the humanity till today. Had there no be churches or religion, humanity couldn't have survived. We would have killed eye over an eye, leg, limb by limb. The whole world would have been blind. So people have enough religion to reject church at the atheists belief. I think so. This is my suggestion.
Thank you, Tesfaye. Exactly. You mentioned the word. Some people, some young people especially, actually hate religion, and you can see why. The new atheists and the old atheists can see what's wrong with it, and in Tom's talk he mentioned some of those reasons as well. Vasantha.
I think maybe they are more materialistic, like other, and they don't have time for this. Other, maybe people see so much of war and dispute and disunity happening in the name of religion. And other, maybe some of the religious laws or administration, or they don't want to be confined to some of the main requirements of the like moral values. Yeah, especially the young people, they don't want to be confined to the conditions set by the religious teachings. That's what it can be. Some other things, I think it may be that first.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So the religion just doesn't seem relevant or helpful to people.
And
right.
also put them into, they are asking them to obey certain things, or they don't. It doesn't give them the freedom to do what they want to. Other thing is, you see so much prejudice and fighting in the name of religion. So it's that my religion is right and yours is not right.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. So that's why people reject religion. Some people reject religion, but still believe in God. They might have their own spiritual connection to God. But atheists go one step further and say there is no God. So what are one or two of the strong arguments that atheists have for there being no God?
Because they want evidence for everything. You cannot have evidence. Without evidence, they don't want to believe in that.
Yeah, and I guess they want evidence which they can put into scientific instruments or mathematical theories. But I think it's more a matter of perception. I think finding religion, finding God, is actually something which requires the scientific method. You have to see and try it out and see what works. Like prayer, for example, just try it and see if it works. And then, as your faith grows stronger, it's like a chair. First time you ever sit in a chair, you might be very careful how you sit in it. You don't know if it's going to hold you up, and then you start to develop faith in the chairs. Might still break one day, but your faith is getting stronger. And it's the same with the spiritual things. We need to at least try it out. Testify.
Well, in the 50s, 40s, the scientists and the noblemen and the very, very notable people, they used to reject religion. And all the masses begin to dismantle religion. And after sometimes, when some notable people, very intellectual people, scientists, began to realize that there is some creator which creates this universe, then a lot of scientists turned to God, and all the people again comes to the church or to believing in God. So the masses are very deceiving. You cannot judge things by the masses. For example, Lord Jesus Christ, when he came to Pilate, he asked the masses, whom shall I set free, Barabbas or Jesus? They said that let Barabbas be free, the masses. So always masses are against the truth. I mean, most of them, just like Baha'u'llah. A lot of people seeing him all sacrificing, they didn't follow him. And already Jesus, Moses. So people are, as he said, like the chair. First, they are not sure about it contains them, but slowly, they become believing God. So here also at this time, many don't believe in God by their mouths, but inside they are feeling the souls, because a man is created with soul and body. That inside them needs some creator, or it strives from inside. So that's why we see now another meditation, yoga, a lot of spiritual things are coming up to the world, because man cannot go only by bodily desires. Its inside must be filled, must feed inside. So let them call it religion, let them call it yoga, they call it meditation, they call it Islam, they call it Christian, they can call it what they want. But they need something for their souls to change. So as you said in the beginning, it's very good analogy. The chair first, it doesn't seem that it's cold. When you come and sit it, you realize. Then after sometimes you fall in love with the chair. When you get tired, you go to the chair. So this is a good analogy. So the masses will come to that point slowly by slowly. But at this time, in this course of time, the religion, the prophets and the people who promote the religion will suffer, just like we are seeing in Iran, in Japan, everywhere else. They are suffering. People are suffering. So after suffering, of course, they will sacrifice. After them, the people will find it very comfortable. That chair analogy touched me very much. Thank you.
Yeah. It's the same with everything about this world. It requires faith. You know, a child needs faith that it can walk. Otherwise, it wouldn't bother taking the first steps. Yeah, exactly. So I think religion is based on faith, but I think faith has to be reasonable, the same as we have faith in the material things of this world. I think religion has a similar basis, but with a different perception, you know, to see through the eyes of love and compassion. Why do atheists say there is no God? One of the arguments, I don't know if you've heard of it, but the problem of evil. If God is all good and all powerful, well, if he's all good, he wouldn't want there to be any evil in the world, any suffering. And if he was all powerful, he could stop it. But evil exists. This is the argument. Evil exists. So that means God, an all good, powerful God, can't exist because evil exists. That's one of the reasons. Any thoughts about that argument? It's a whole subject. Okay, we can leave that for another day. It's, in my opinion, evil doesn't exist. It has a relative existence, but not an absolute existence. What would constructive dialogue with an atheist look like? So we're in this group, we're practicing interfaith dialogue. I would call atheism another faith, a bit like any one of us. So an atheist has their faith that there's no God. We have faith that there is a God. How should we talk to each other? Should we debate?
We have to respect others' religion, and because everybody thinks what they are saying is right, so we should be. We should respect others' view.
Exactly. Dialogue with an atheist is the same as dialogue with anyone, any other religion, any other person. It should be respectful, and you approach it with the idea of learning. So if I think Richard Dawkins loves an argument, so if you go there to try and persuade him, he's just going to enjoy the argument, and all of his followers will be cheering. But if you go there to learn from him, I mean, if he asks a question, genuine question, of course, we answer as best we can. But if he's not asking questions, he's just telling us what he believes, then that's our opportunity to learn from him, to learn something. I just wanted to move, as we're approaching the end of this session. This is...
Can I say something?
Yes.
First question, why people reject religion. Also, one of the things is people see others, they say they practice religion. They don't see actually what is in the teaching. Rather, they see others, how they are practicing, and try to find a fault. And if this is what their religion is, why should we follow this religion like that? You know, they try to. You don't actually see what the message they are getting. Just see how a person who is a Christian or a Hindu or a Baha'i, how the individuals are practicing, and then they try to reject. That's all.
Yeah, it's there's so many religions, and each religion practices in a different way. It's like a big maze. If anyone was a genuine seeker, they'd really have to rely on God to find the truth at the core of religion. Now, in Tom Price's talk, you might like to listen to it on YouTube, but it's too long to play here. So I've just summarized, and he probably won't like me summarizing it because in the talk he explains each point quite nicely and entertainingly, and he tries to help people remember what the points were. But perhaps I'll just list these what he calls 7 principles of true religion. This is his presentation. You know, we can come up with our own list. So he says it must be relevant. If it's to be a true religion, it must be relevant to your needs and the needs of the age. To be a true religion, it must be in harmony with science. To be a true religion, it must cause unity. It must be pure, like pure water, meaning free of man-made teachings or doctrines. It must be based on religious truth being relative. Now that's hard for some people to accept. They say, well, God is absolute. How can we say God is relative? But it's explaining it here. Relativity of religious truth means that there is always more to discover and there can be different perspectives, and we should not imagine that we are right and others are wrong. So it's relative to our perspectives and also relative to what time in history the religion came, because the social teachings have to be relevant to the needs of the age. And that means relative to the time they came. It must have a positive effect on people's actions because our deeds mean more than our beliefs or how we label ourselves. And it must be able to naturally unite all religions. So you'll have to just listen to Tom's talk if you're interested to see how he explained all those points. And he concluded that number 6 is the greatest proof of religion and the only thing that can convince an atheist. That is, it must have a positive effect on people's actions.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show you the last slide before I turn off the slide share. There's something in the way. Right. And that is, I've collected some things on this page on my website, and you click on to seek or not to seek, and you'll see a few more videos, music, and a few more thoughts on that page, just because that was an interest of mine. Test fire, yes, please. Unmute.
Sorry, to add a little about God. Most of the people, or me, like me, for example, I can't visualize God. And when I was young, I used to think that just like a king. It seems to me like a king, and he punishes, he rewards, something like that. Then when I grew up, the concept of God grows also, because in the Baha'i faith you see that it is not some physical thing. It is not some like a human being, which you want to love him or to hate him. It's he created the universe. Sometimes I feel ashamed when I pray sometimes. Whom am I talking to? I'm talking to the Lord of the universe, the creator of all things. Then when this thought comes, I become very ashamed. And he knows every part of you. He knows your problems. He knows the solution. So when I came to that point, I become very, very diminished. So I think it is the concept of the individual, how he sees the Lord of the universe. For example, me, Saint Paul, and Mullah Hussein, we are all believers. We believe in God. But I don't think me and Saint Paul and Mullah Hassan, we have the same concept of God. As you have said earlier, it's something relative. So when we talk with the atheist things, I think they have good points, as the Tom Price say. And if it's good to share, if you share with us his book or his video, and in our address. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, Tesfaye. And actually, on the Interfaith WhatsApp group, our WhatsApp group, you'll find the link to Tom's talk. You can see it there.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And you just reminded me, Tesfaye, that Baha'is believe, and probably all religions believe to some extent, that God is unknowable. So we can't really blame the atheists. If God is unknowable, then how can we expect atheists to know God? But
true, yes, it is very true.
yeah. And of course, the Universal House of Justice wrote that the recurring proof of the existence of God is that he manifests himself from age to age. So we might not be seeing the essence of God, but we see his qualities focused in his messenger, in his manifestation. So really, there's nothing more we can know about the unknowable God except what he has revealed to us. So that gives us something to focus on. Well, I think we had a very nice discussion. I enjoyed watching those videos again. And I want to thank everyone for participating, and good to see you, Pina. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Allah.
Thank you, Colin, for organizing this. It just was interesting.
Thanks, Tesfaye and Young, Kamal,